It's that time again. Here we are again, 1 quarter into the year, and that means, can only mean one thing. It's time for Game of the Year Watch 2025 to begin. We'll add that in post. So, 3 months into the year, time to start taking stock. The best games of the year so far. I think the year started out pretty slowly, but then things started picking up, I think, towards the end of February, and now there's a bunch of good games. So we've actually been running a face-off on IGN asking our users what they think are the best games of the year so far. And so we've got some very clear and useful data right here. So coming in at number 1 so far is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Which I think,
this is the face-off data, not IGN review scores or anything.
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah, but which got a 9, I believe.
Yeah,
out of
sure.
10.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just clarifying.
I have a question too. At the beginning of the episode, you said Tom was here for a specific reason. Mm-hmm. Is that reason to talk about this topic, or is it to win 20 questions finally, which we've been losing? For a month?
Yeah, Justin, they are on a bit of a losing streak.
Great.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm the anchor you want to bring in for that one. I'm not going to lie.
You better be.
Is it bigger than a bread box? Wait, no. Oh, dang it.
So, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is currently leading with the IGN audience.
Huh?
Yep, number 1. However, right behind it, only a percentage point behind it, is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then
worth noting though that Assassin's Creed has been in the face-off for like a week less, so it has less data, but it already has like almost 3,000 kind of face-offs in it, and that's usually enough to get a general sense that this is going to be high up there somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
I have this compulsion, like I really want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It looks like a Justin game, but I didn't play the original. And even though everyone says like you can jump into the second one, it's fine, just go ahead and jump in the second one. I don't feel like I can jump into the second one. I feel like I need to go back to the beginning. And so then it's like, okay, that's a last gen game. I have to figure out if it's forward compatible on any modern console. And, then I just end up playing. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to play more Factorio instead. And so but I'm really into it. Like, I'm glad that game and that developer seems to be having kind of like its Witcher 2 moment of like, everybody liked The Witcher. It's good. It got good reviews. And Witcher 2 was like, wow, okay, CD Projekt, like they're really onto something. And then obviously with The Witcher 3, they blew the doors off everything and catapulted themselves into the upper echelon. And so, can Warhorse Studios do that? Like, I don't know, TBD, but they're on a good trajectory from like game 1 to game 2 at least.
So, go ahead.
This game is so intense that, and it's just a lot of content in it, that the strategy guide is still really popular for it. Mm-hmm. And it's just taking a really long time to compose. It's a huge game. It's a lot bigger than even we expected going in. And that's really neat. People are like doing everything in it too. Like it's definitely like got an open world appeal that is sticking people to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Skyrim with no dragons.
Skyrim, no dragons.
Yeah, a lot of comparisons to the Bethesda RPGs like Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls stuff.
I think I would play. I want to play this game, but I'd be more inclined to play it if it didn't have the combat system, because I think the combat system looks clunky and goofy, and I just am not interested. Hence, I'm playing Assassin's Creed with perfect assassination turned on because I'm just done. I'm done with it. I want to do everything else in a game except for go and hit people with swords at this point in first person.
Well, it's not. Well, in first person, I see too.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, but immediately behind Assassin's Creed Shadows, only 1 point behind that is Split Fiction. So those are the top 3 in the running with the IGN audience as of today.
Surprises me, to be honest, Split Fiction. I haven't played it yet. I'm really, really excited to still. I've just been in the middle of playing other stuff still, but it surprised me how popular It Takes Two ended up being. And not speaking ill of that game, I loved that game. I thought it was a blast. And it continues to surprise me how much this sort of game is breaking out with a wider audience like this. Again, not that it doesn't deserve it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it goes to show you that like it's the experience of sharing this game with somebody that I think is the best thing about it. It's just like when we all played Pokemon Go and we all got out, we started walking around and it was really goofy and we're like, wow, this is just an experience. I mean, Pokemon Go wasn't a perfect game, but like we all played it and had a really good time. And that's what I remember. And I think these co-op games are like that. You're like, I played this with this person and I had a really good time.
Yeah, we like my experience with Split Fiction. Granted, I was out of town for like 9 or 10 days. I'm playing it with my daughter, and so my experience has been every night that we're back, she says, "Can we play more Split Fiction?" And I say, "No, it's a school night." So, but like, we loved it before, again, we were out of town, so we couldn't play, but like, we did we played it a couple evenings and loved it. I am very excited to get back to it too, but I'm torn between being in dad mode and say, no, it's too close to bed. You can't have any more screens. And then also I'd really like to play this video game. And so, like the two have to be kept in balance.
Yeah, of course. So those are the top 3. And there's a couple more worth noting. Only a few percentage points behind that. There's Monster Hunter Wilds, which, Tom, you reviewed, correct?
I did, yeah.
You gave that one 8 out of 10.
I did, yeah. That game is really, really great, and I'm happy to see it up here. But I also think it does make sense that, like you said, the top 3 are kind of all pretty dang close, and then this one drops a couple percentage points. It does not shock me to see that it's a little bit further away from that top pack, but I'm really, really glad it's up there in the top 4.
This is, there's obviously a huge Monster Hunter community. What's the sort of overall thought on Wilds? Is it not going to end up being as popular as Worlds?
That remains to be seen. That's going to depend a lot on the updates that were coming, because we just got a thing about the title update 1 that's coming pretty soon about what monsters are going to be in that, what they're going to be showing off, or what they're going to be adding, and it's encouraging, right? Like what they're doing, but like a big problem with that game that I had that I noted in my review was that it felt a little bit slight. It felt pretty like there weren't a lot of really good top end game challenges, which is something that we got flack a little bit for before the game came out, of people being like, well, the base version's always easier. And now that it's out, I think a lot of people are seeing like, oh yeah, there's really only in the base game like 1 or 2 monsters at the very, very end that even put up a little bit of a fight.
Yeah, I've been seeing the same chatter. It's like, I guess everybody's right about this, which is disappointing, because even when we previewed it, we were like, hey, we really hope that if this is a game that feels easier because we love Monster Hunter, but no.
But and I'm not a big Mon Hun guy, just a caveat, but like it was the exact same thing with the last game, right? Like it was a little bit on the easy side, and then the DLC and like post game stuff came out, and it was incredibly hard, and then everybody was like, oh, okay. Like I'm satisfied now. So it's like I'm expecting a similar arc this time around.
I'm hoping for a similar arc, but it feels, even in, because you're correct, but even in that context, it feels different. Because I reviewed Rise and Rise's expansion as well. And the thing to me was like, I finished Wilds quicker than even Rise, right? So it was yes, Rise was easier, but this was another step, right? And then on top of that, the big thing with Rise is like 1 month after Rise launched, it got an update that added, I think, like 7 new monsters. And then 2 months after that, it added
1 or 2 this time, right? Like
it added 4 more a month after that. Whereas this Title 1 update is adding a single monster, the ability to fight a monster that was already in the game that you couldn't refight, and then like a harder version of an existing monster, and that's it. So it's like,
and it's kind of surprising that there's not this like roadmap of really difficult, cool, like it seems like that's the platform, but it's just it's not.
So the question of if it's going to pass World is like a really big we'll see, because World was this insane, huge breakout success for them, and Rise wasn't quite as big, but it had this exclusivity thing with Switch first, and it was kind of a side thing in a different sense. And so I don't know. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it gets all this stuff that I feel is missing, and it follows a similar trajectory to those other games. But I also think there are reasons to be like a little bit more wary this time.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot, Tom. You're the only person at all of IGN that's allowed to do this. Okay. What decimal point would you give this?
Oh man, in the 8s?
Yeah. Well, I hope it's not a different number, because you're sticking with the 8.
I don't know, to be honest.
But if it was an 8, it could be a 7 point something, to be fair.
No.
You could have rounded to the 8. That's right. That's right.
7.9.
No, I think it is. I don't know.
Flat?
I think it's in mid to low 8s for me, to be honest. I think it was really missing a decent amount of stuff, and I think that the thing I kept saying while I was reviewing it was like, this is a 9 if the difficulty shows up. This is a 9 if that extra stuff shows up. This is a 9 if the end game really is going to keep me going, and none of that stuff materialized.
Yeah.
And
8.3.
So I honestly don't think the decimals have left my brain. They're not a part of my vocabulary anymore.
Oh yeah, I thought you would totally
dodge.
say I'm not allowed to do that, but here we are having the conversation. So anytime we have you on,
I make the rules. I can do whatever I want. I just
I love it. I love it.
I do, Damon, before you move on, real quick, just some real-time deal scoop. If you're like me and you're considering picking up Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, it is $10 on the PlayStation Store right now, cool. But Xbox and Steam are full price.
Wow.
And I did, just because language in video games are very silly, it's only the PS4 version of the game, but it's forwards compatible onto PS5. So, look, I don't make the rules. That's just what Google says.
Got it. There's also some breaking news happening. A Bloomberg report says that a planned Hogwarts Legacy expansion has been canceled.
Aw, really? That's weird. Yeah, I know. But remember,
so
the last
strange.
news on that was putting all their eggs in the Hogwarts basket when they were closing the studios and stuff like that, right? So they're going to do a sequel, we know.
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, but that is odd. Whatever, I don't want to comment on it in real time. I feel like I need to read the report. Okay. It's like, no DLC planned. They're just full steam ahead on the sequel. And they're like, well, maybe we will do a DLC. And they're like, nah. Just kidding. We'll just make the sequel.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so we know it's not getting harder monsters then.
Hogwarts, yeah. The only game to outsell Call of Duty in like 14 years. You'd think maybe they'd want to squeeze a little bit more out of that one, but who knows what's going on at Warner Brothers.
I think that's an example of franchise management done right? Like, take care of your fans, make a complete product. Sure. Put your head down and make a real banger sequel, and then
make a live service sequel. It takes 10 years.
Yeah. That's the Activision model of like, oh, we're gonna do it every single year until everybody hates it.
Yeah.
Although Call of Duty was great this year.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, the final game, rounding out the top 5 IGN fans' favorite games of the year so far, is Avowed, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see that in there because I really liked that game. This game was such a pleasant surprise.
Totally great.
Wait,
that's not Avowed.
Nope. It is Pentiment though, which is another very good video game
from the same studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you still playing Avowed, Sam? I know you 100% of that first big area.
It's so cool because right now in my brain, if I went and played Avowed, I would be fine. But one more week of Assassin's Creed,
I know.
No way. It's gone forever.
I know.
So it's going to happen.
It's really tough.
Assassin's Creed's got its claws in it.
I know. It's really tough because I love both these games, but they're both so huge and just take weeks and weeks to play. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's me as well. I've already talked about it a couple times, but it's like I was out of town for spring break and then I was out of town for work, and Avowed has completely been a victim of that for me, right? Like, I have not an ill word to say about it, but it's just you really need to like devote like a good chunk of time to it. It's a hard game to bop in and back out of.
Have you spent any time with Avowed, Tom?
No, I mean, can I be real with you?
No.
I have fallen pretty far off of pretty far off of like the open world RPG, like the list of this, right, of Avowed, Kingdom Come, Assassin's Creed, that sort of style of game has fallen by the wayside in terms of like what I choose to spend my time on lately. I just look for shorter, more varied experiences more often than not. And I say that, after having just beaten Persona 3 Reload, which is 100 hours of a single RPG with tons of grinding. So I am a full hypocrite and I recognize that. But like, there's something about the open world kind of vibe that just doesn't hook me in the way it used to. And so I don't gravitate towards them when I'm looking to just hang out and play games.
Well, smaller and varied definitely describes Split Fiction.
Yeah, so I've heard. Like I said, that one is high on my list for what I want to be playing next.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's 4 gigantic. I mean, I don't know. Is Monster Hunter Wilds considered open world?
No,
it's open zone.
Yeah, open zone. They tried to sort of spin it as like all of the world is connected this time, and the only thing that matters for is like loading screens. It's like very convenient in terms of going from place to place, but you're not really you're not running around the world looking for things and doing like it's not really that kind of game. You're doing very specific hunts and just running to the monster that you're hunting.
Well, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Split Fiction, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Avowed. It's like these 4 gigantic, either open world-ish games, and then Split Fiction, which is a much, different, smaller in scope indie game, super creative. I don't know. This is just, I just think this is an interesting mix of games so far.
It's already a great list.
Yeah. Do you all have also rans too for some of these? Like I have a few others, but they're not quite.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if there are any that you felt like would they actually be a contender? Or are you just mentioning a game that you liked?
No, I think that Civ 7 could be a contender if it fixes so many things.
Yeah.
And they did a patch this week, and it fixed one of the silliest, just stupidest things where it's just hard to use a merchant in the game to send to the place you want to go. It's just a dumb thing. But it's like, yeah, just do that 100 more times, and suddenly you have a really, really great Civ game, right?
Yeah, well, and they totally will, right? Like that's the
what I
arc
expect,
of like.
right? I mean, this is only a few weeks after launch. They had a big list.
Yeah,
maybe.
Do we? Ooh. Someone's there it is.
LaCroix.
Are we going to talk about AC Shadows, or is this our chance to talk about it?
I have an email about AC Shadows, so we'll dive into it more.
I'll save it then.
And then I also played Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, and I just wanted to mention that I played that game.
What is that game?
It's from the what's the series?
It's from Don't Nod.
Who makes what's their most popular series called, which I've never played?
Life is Strange.
Life is Strange.
Yeah, Life is Strange.
We did it, everybody. We did it. Yes, it is a 90s set game, calling all Damon Hatfields.
Okay.
Partially, and then partially set today. And so you're a crew of girls that form a nominally Riot Girl band. They actually mentioned some pretty good stuff in the game. Bikini Kill et al., which was definitely my high school scene. So it's like Gone Home and that nostalgic X-Files, like nailing it, like mood, which is really cool. So it's got that going for it. And then it has Yellow Jackets theme, where in modern day, the teens are meeting up again to talk about something horrible that happened to them that summer. And it's just a lot of conversations about, bad things that happen to kids. And then there's a camcorder that you hold throughout the game, and you can take little indie films and cut them. And that's like the game part. It's like you make these checklists. So like when you go to the video store, you make it, and it looks great, and it's like really well done. I like that part.
Sounds awesome.
But,
is it a spoiler to discuss? Like, because like my interest in this game is the horrible thing that happens to them, like monster related, or is the monster man?
It's going to be in part 2 for one thing, because it's coming out in parts. But
got it.
I don't know. They probably killed a guy or something. It's more Stand By Me.
Okay. That's what I'm
it's like
getting
Yellow
at.
Jackets, Stand By Me stuff.
Got it.
Well, but Yellow Jackets is okay. I understand.
It's not like that.
It
it doesn't go full cannibalism as far as I can tell.
Cool.
Understood. I'm trying to understand if it's supernatural or if it's.
I think they just had a
Me.
bummer summer, and maybe they did something pretty bad.
Got it.
But hard to tell, because there's like a bully in it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know where that's all going.
Understood. They 100% killed somebody.
or like a kid died by accident or something.
Yep.
It feels like Stand By Me. I mean that's it's like a spooky feel, but like some of it looks really good. Like this is the camcorder stuff that's happening, and when you play back the camcorder, it like looks fantastic, like crazy good film or video blur and grain and stuff. It just looks awesome.
Cool.
Anyway, that exists.
I think in my mind, it's like Assassin's Creed Shadows and Avowed are my 2 favorite games I've played this year. But
Same.
They're such big games. I have to spend a lot more time with each one to know, which one I would end up liking more. Justin, any favorites or any early contenders this year for you?
Well, as usual, I'm mostly spending my time on games that didn't come out this year. I got really re-addicted to and have put a ludicrous number of hours back into Graveyard Keeper after being away from that game for several years. So, Graveyard Keeper released, I think, in 2018 is so far my 2025 game of the year. But as I said, I've been out of town like a third of the days this year. So like Avowed and some other stuff has gotten this short shrift. But I just started Assassin's Creed. I'll save my feedback for the question that comes in, but I love it so far.
Cool. Yeah. Tom, has there been something that isn't a giant open world RPG that's resonated with you?
Balatro.
Yeah, still going.
No, I fell back down that rabbit hole recently. No, Monster Hunter. You know, I was sounded pretty negative on it as we were talking about sort of it earlier, but Monster Hunter, it is some of the best Monster Hunter has ever felt when you are actually in the action, and it is some of the coolest monster design they've done. Some really this game is really, really good, and I am really, really pulling for it in terms of some of these updates throughout the year. Like, I do think Civ 7, I think, is going to need like some time, right? Like, I think it's going to need like a at least a year to really get its stuff together. I think Monster Hunter by the end of 2025 could be a really impressive new version of itself.
Wow. I would have swapped those two just because they haven't given the roadmap. You know, like we don't have the roadmap for like a bunch of monsters.
Yeah, but I see the problems with Civ is like they have shown that they like that, and they've shown that they like fixing a lot of those problems in expansions, whereas Monster Hunter I think does. Yeah, where I think Monster Hunter does actually like to just push updates for what things people are annoyed about, and they listen to the community really, really quickly. So I'm very optimistic about the future of Monster Hunter, and I hope that by the time we get to Game of the Year stuff, it is really, really worthy of being in that conversation. But also, gosh, this year is going to be stacked. So who knows? So
it's a little bit complicated with Roman numerals, but you think it's more of a Civ 7.5, Civ 6.5 maybe? Is that where we're at? Not quite Civ 7?
We'll see.
One note on both these games. It must be disheartening for Civ devs to put out Civ 7 and see so many more people are playing Civ 6 and Civ 5 still. So many more people.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands.
Yeah, or on the other hand, like, it gives them the perspective and the air cover to be like, we're in this for the long haul, right?
That's true.
People are going to be playing Civ 7 for a decade,
That's true.
You know, so it does cut both ways.
And then for Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game of all time.
Wow.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how close it can get to that.
You fools should have bought more Mega Man 3.
Yep, exactly.
You screwed it all up. You had your chance.
It is depressing.
It's out of print now.
Capcom is very transparent. They on their website they have a recurringly updated list of their best-selling games ever, and you just have to scroll real far before you get to any Mega Man. Yep. It is all Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Street Fighter.
Yeah, we owed the little robot boy more.
Yep. Looking ahead at big games coming out Q2, we'll have Doom: The Dark Ages in May, along with Elden Ring Night Rain. Then there's Death Stranding 2 in June, and of course the Switch 2 launch and whatever launch games they have for the Switch 2. Could be something good there. Although, I've started to realize I don't think there's any way the Switch 2 launch lineup isn't a disappointment. Compared to the Switch. It has
to be great.
Compared to the Switch 1, which had Breath of the Wild, right?
Oh, I see. Well, it'll just have Breath of the Wild and you'll be happy, right?
Okay.
Yep.